Her biggest fan took her life. Rebecca Lucile Schaeffer was born in 1987 in Oregon. She was an only child. Her parents were Ben Schaeffer, a child psychologist, and Donna Schaeffer, a writer. Rebecca was a smart child when she was younger and never really caused any trouble. Her parents saying she was so smart that at 2 years old, when they asked her to keep her diapers dry, she never pottied on herself again, becoming potty trained. Rebecca was silly and an outgoing child, getting along with everyone. At a very young age, she soon got interested in drama and also became a teen model. In August of 1984, her parents gave her the blessing of moving to New York alone to pursue her career in the entertainment industry. She soon found good work on soap operas like One Life to Live and Guiding Light, but the modeling wasn't really taking off because of her height. She was 5'7" and was too short to be a model. She eventually got casted in a show called My Sister Sam and ended up moving to California to start filming for the show, but it later got canceled. During that time, a teen named Robert John Bardo had become obsessed with her, being so obsessed that in 1987 he flew from Tucson, Arizona, his home, to California, where Rebecca was filming the show at Warner Bros. Studio. He brought flowers and a huge teddy bear, and at the front gate he told security that he was friends of Rebecca's. When security called in to ask Rebecca, she had no clue who he was and told him that she wasn't expecting anyone, so they turned Robert away. Security decided to drive him home because he had such a big teddy bear that they thought it would cause trouble on the bus. Robert was extremely upset, but it didn't stop him from trying again. He went back to Warner Bros. The next day, this time with a knife on him, but he decided not to use it. And again, Robert was turned away. Even though eventually the show got canceled, Rebecca's career was taking off. In the summer of 1989, she got casted in several movies, one of them being The Godfather 3. Rebecca lived in an apartment in West Hollywood, still working on her dreams and her career. During that time, she was waiting for the script to The Godfather 3 to be delivered. You see, during this time, Robert had written her fan mail, and Rebecca, being the kind soul she was, would always respond to fan mail. Even responding to one of Robert's fan mails, telling him that this was one of the most beautiful letters she's ever received. This only heightened his obsession. See, Robert became possessive. He saw Rebecca in one of her movies called The Class Struggle in Beverly Hills, having a love scene. This made Robert mad. He started saying things like, "How dare she? She's mine. She is supposed to stay innocent only for me, and she needs to be punished." He then said that he would permanently possess her by taking her life. See, this was common with serial killers because they believed by taking someone's life in the afterlife, that person would forever be their slave. See, Robert was only 19 and didn't know how to find out where Rebecca lived. But he remembered reading a 1982 People's Magazine article where they told about a man named Robert Jackson who hired a private investigator to find the address of actress Teresa Saldana and stabbed her several times before being stopped by a neighbor who was a hero because Teresa survived that attack. So Robert thought of copying him and hired a private investigator for $250. The private investigator then went to the DMV and paid a small price and got the address. It was that easy back then. Robert then tried buying a gun, but couldn't because the gun shop looked into his mental history and found out he wasn't stable enough to have a gun. So Robert thought ahead and got his brother to buy a gun for him. At 9:30 a.m., Robert went to Rebecca's apartment and rang the buzzer. Rebecca came downstairs expecting her script to The Godfather 3. The only reason she came downstairs was because her intercom was broken, so that was the only way to receive it. Robert waited downstairs with an autographed picture Rebecca had signed when she had responded to one of his fan mails. He also had the book with him, Catcher in the Rye, which was the same book John Lennon's killer had before he was shot and life taken from him. Rebecca opened the door to see Robert standing there, and she politely shook his hand and was very kind. But she told him that she had to go quick to prepare for an interview and kindly told him not to come back again. Robert then left without complaining and went to go eat onion rings. While eating, he called his sister and told her that she might be hearing some news of him soon. Being worried, his sister urged him to come back to Arizona, but Robert refused. At 10:15 a.m., he went back to Rebecca's apartment. This time, Rebecca was a little annoyed. She told him that he was wasting her time, and that's when Robert pulled out the gun and shot Rebecca. Rebecca laid there, repeatedly screaming, "Why?"
She's going on, "Why? Why?" She's screaming. She's just straight screaming. Why?
He left her there, and she was later taken to the hospital where she did not survive. The police then found Robert in Arizona, and the only way they found out it was him was because he was running down the interstate, screaming that he took Rebecca's life. He was arrested and charged and sentenced to life in prison. In 2007, he was then stabbed 11 times for being famous in prison. And sadly, he lived. Rest in peace, Rebecca. Check out right here if you want to hear a story about a mom who locked her daughter in a room for 25 years just because she fell in love with a man that wasn't rich enough.